Welcome to the Money Manifestation Mastery podcast with your host, Lara Waldman, where we talk all things money. Big money, big purpose, big power. Waking up your wealth for heart-centered business owners and entrepreneurs. In today's episode, I'll be introducing you to your inner child and how your inner child is a key piece to money manifestation mastery. We'll be looking at what your inner child is, how your inner child can be creating money blocks for you, stopping you or blocking you from creating the business and finances that you truly desire, and how to work with your inner child to help you move forward in your business and your finances. Let's dive in. When I first started working as a healer over 20 years ago now, I discovered something very interesting. My clients would come to me with problems such as anxiety, depression, grief, when they were going through really hard and difficult life changes, and I would support them through those changes and help them to get back on track with their life. When my clients were lying on the healing table and I was working with them, I would start to see something really interesting. I started to see in my mind's eye an image of a child at different ages and stages. Sometimes they were a baby, sometimes they were a toddler, sometimes they were around the age of 8, or sometimes they were in the teenage years. And I was super interested in this. I thought, who is this child and what are they here for? Why are they here? And what I found through working with my clients with these children that were popping up in the sessions were that they were frozen aspects of themselves, parts of themselves that were stunted in growth or development based on trauma or pain or struggles that they had at certain developmental stages. And as a healer, I learned how to work with their inner child, these stuck aspects or frozen aspects that were still in wounding, and help them to move through that so that they could finally grow up and become an integrated, happy, healed, healthy adult. The results of this work were phenomenal and continue to be so. I call this part of you your inner child. And there are very important developmental stages that if we're not parented or mentored appropriately or safely, can really cause a lot of damage long term. I learned the importance of working consciously and mindfully with your inner child in order to move forward in your present day adult life. It's extraordinary work. And as I move forward in my work, working with business owners and entrepreneurs with their relationship with money, their business and finances, this inner child work still played out and has become an important piece in creating results, the desired results in your business, your finances, and your life. Your inner child, when stuck in wounding, old trauma, old habits of behavior, can really cause a lot of problems in your financial reality, in your business, and your personal life. And this is why I adore working with business and finance, because wherever you go, there you are. And there is always an opportunity for immense growth, healing, transformation, and evolution. And your desire to create the results that you want in your business or your finances will take you on a really profound journey within yourself, because there is no escape. Wherever you go, there you are. We're just often unconsciously creating the results in our business, finances, and our life that we cannot see. And my job is to help put a loving spotlight on the unconscious, on your unconscious money blocks, where you're unconsciously sabotaging or stopping yourself from creating the desired results. And inner child work is an important piece of this process. Through different stages and phases of development as a young child, based on what you experienced and what you went through, you will have learnt coping strategies, ways to cope with your lived experience. You adapted to your past in very extraordinary ways. And some of the coping strategies that you developed were necessary and needed at certain points in your life. But the problem is those coping strategies that you developed from wounding or trauma or pain from those early stages of development often cause problems in your adult life, in your business life, in your relationships, in your finances. But your coping strategy is very hardwired and often in a blind spot. Sometimes it's great. We learn a lot from our wounding, trauma. These coping strategies can also create a lot of great results. So this part of you will have done some great things for you as well. It's not all bad, but when it comes to moving into your next level, these same coping strategies that have created results for you or kept you safe or helped you can often start hindering you. And this is where the inner child work becomes really important. When your inner child feels unmet, unloved, unsafe, unheard, unheld, or threatened in any way, this part of you can sabotage what you're trying to do. Put the brakes on. It's incredibly interesting because most of this is happening unconsciously. Your unmet inner child or your inner child that feels unsafe or threatened is very powerful. And what I have learned is that it's essential to learn how to hold this part of you, work with this part of you to undo some of that unconscious patterning and programming. So think about what happens when you get triggered or you get challenged. There's a pain or an obstacle. How do you react? How do you respond? These emotional reactions are often coming from our wounded inner child. Most adults are running around with their wounded child, getting activated or playing out in all sorts of interesting ways. It's not just you. So that can be one way in, is to ask yourself, how do you react or respond in difficult situations? And do you react or respond in a way that you feel proud of? Are you happy with the way that you react or respond to stress or challenges or obstacles or pain? A lot gets revealed in these moments. But also unconsciously, when you're wanting to move forward or create the life that you desire or the relationships that you desire or the finances you desire, if what you desire is outside of your lived experience and threatens the safety of your inner child, this is when incredible blocks can come up that are essentially designed to keep you safe. And this will affect your action, the action you take or don't take, how you take action, what action you take or don't take. And it's very fascinating to understand what is running you unconsciously. For years, I couldn't understand why I wasn't able to take action in my business. I had a very clear vision. I knew what I was here to do. I knew what it looked like, but I could not move forward. I went into freeze or flight mode. And it took me a while to understand that what I was being guided to do by my soul's wisdom, by the wealthy wisdom within, that vision where it was guiding me was deeply threatening to my inner child. It literally felt like death to that part of myself. And this is the interesting thing about our soul's guidance or that wealthy wisdom within. It is going to take you on a path of healing, of growth, of evolution, of transformation. It's going to take you beyond old trauma and wounding, beyond the pain of your past, and take you into a new world, a whole new wealthy world. But anytime we're in the unknown, this can be perceived as a threat to an aspect of yourself. And your inner child just wants to feel safe and held and heard and loved and cared for. It wants to play. So anything that feels hard or difficult or threatening will shut this part of you down. So the first thing to become aware of is how your inner child is unconsciously running your life, your business, your finances, your relationships. And you will know by how you react. So this is where you want to start paying attention. So that's the bad news, that your inner child, unhealed, unheld aspects of yourself can be creating a lot of problems for you personally and professionally. But the good news is your inner child can also be a secret sauce ingredient to success. Because equally, when this part of you feels safe, your inner child wants to play and wants to create and innovate, and they're full of joy and possibility and wonder and inspiration, ideas. So your healthy, happy, healed inner child, essentially when you feel safe, can tap into a wealth of creativity and bring more joy into your life, more playfulness into your world, which can create wonderful results. And this part of you is also tapped into the realm of magic, where the energy of manifestation lies. Your inner child knows how to co-create with life, play with life, be in life. And that's how children are when they feel safe, when they're well looked after. They will explore, they'll discover, they're open. It's so beautiful. So how do we navigate from the wounded, frozen aspects of your inner child that is unconsciously sabotaging you and what you want into a happy, safe inner child that is creating amazing things in your life? I've developed a process to support you with this that I'd like to share with you now. It is essential that you learn how to hold your inner child. I say, hold yourself, hold your wealth. This is mastery level. Your inner child needs to be held, heard, supported, celebrated, listened to, acknowledged, and looked after. Your inner child needs care, rest, playtime, space to be. This part of you requires a level of care and attention that you may have never received. And this is what stops you or blocks you from receiving. Rewire to receive is really about working with your wounded inner child that wasn't met, that wasn't seen, that wasn't heard, that wasn't held, and may have been actively hurt, harmed, or shamed, or violated. And when that happens, that creates a lot of damage and what I call money blocks that stop you or block you from receiving because you don't feel safe, and maybe you weren't safe. But that lack of safety, that lack of holding in your past is still playing out in your present because it lives inside of your nervous system. And this is part of the healing journey or the transformational journey that Money Manifestation Mastery is going to take you through. The part of yourself that never learned how to receive or that didn't feel safe in life, that didn't feel honored or valued or seen or recognized, heard, held, taken care of, needs to learn how to do this. And this is a skill that you can learn. But it can be really uncomfortable because it's immensely vulnerable. Because you've developed patterns of protection that are like armor to keep yourself safe. And you've learned to hide and protect the very vulnerable, sensitive parts of yourself. And that is absolutely fine, except what it does is it keeps you separate from life. It affects your intimacy. It affects your ability to connect. It affects your ability to receive. It affects your ability to feel. So even when the good stuff's happening, it doesn't land. And your wounded inner child or the unmet aspects of yourself will have you chasing all sorts of things, seeking pleasure, seeking fulfillment in all sorts of spaces and places. And spaces and places that aren't always healthy, that aren't always your best choice. So working with this part of you is truly life-changing. But it does require patience, and it does require time, and it does require care, just like a child does. A child requires patience and care and consistency. And this is a journey of reparenting yourself, giving yourself the love and care and the parenting that perhaps you didn't receive. Now, this isn't about blaming or shaming your parents or caregivers. I believe that everyone was doing the best that they could with the tools that they had. Yes, probably not good enough, but that happened. And so now, how do we help you in the present to heal and transform your past, to liberate you so that you can powerfully create in your present, moving into your future, to create the future that you desire rather than unconsciously looping in these old patterns and cycles that were created from your past? So your inner child needs your time, it needs your care, and it needs to be listened to. And there are a number of ways that you can work with your inner child. You can journal with your inner child, talk to them, ask them questions. You can meditate with this part of you. You can take your inner child out on a date and ask, what would you like to do? Maybe it's something joyful. Maybe it's nature time. It'll be something that is joyful, that brings you pleasure, that's not about the hustle and the grind and hard work. Playful, relaxing experiences. So you can tune in and ask your inner child questions. What do you want to do? Tell me how you're feeling, and listen. And you need to hold a space of non-judgment, curiosity. Let your inner child speak, shout, cry, let it all out, just like little children need. They need to be held and heard and taught how to regulate their nervous system again, how to come back into balance. This is a skill that we need to learn that we often don't learn at important stages of development. So after you've given your inner child some space to speak, cry, shout, vent, ask your inner child what they need. What do you need? What do you need to feel safe, secure, loved? What does that look like for you? Ask them to tell you. And again, witness, receive, free of judgment. Stay curious, stay open. So after you have asked your inner child what they need, you can then move on to ask your inner child, what do they want? What do you want? And this is where the manifestation mastery starts to come in. We want to meet your inner child's wants because they're your wants. They're just lying dormant, usually hidden beneath pain, beneath shame. They're in the secret chambers of yourself. And from this place, once your inner child starts to relax, your nervous system's regulated, they feel safe, they build trust with you, because this is about building a relationship of trust between your inner child and your adult self. Then they start to open up. And when you ask your inner child what they want, this is where we start to get the creative juices flowing. Your inner child is tapped into magic, creativity, possibility. They're dreamers and visionaries. They have ideas. And once your inner child is on board with you, can bring in incredible ideas for your life, for your business, for your finances, ways to make it more fun, to bring in more joy, to bring in more energy, to turn everything you're doing that feels like a slog into something more creative or joyful. They are an exceptional secret sauce ingredient to your success. Your inner child is not everything. It's not the sum total of your results, but it's an incredible ingredient to your success and one that's very worth taking the time to nurture. Now, with your inner child, it's very important that you do not let your inner child lead in your life, in your business, in your finances. Just like a real life child, the adult needs to lead. The adult needs to be the mentor. The child needs to be looked after and taken care of. And the child can have ideas and can open the adult's eyes up to new ways of seeing things or new ways of doing things, can bring fun and joy into the adult's life. The same thing goes for your business and your finances. Adult you needs to lead from your wealth, but your inner child can be part of the game, part of the team, but the adult needs to lead. So we need to make sure that your inner child is well taken care of. We're listening to your inner child, holding space for your inner child to calm down their emotions, their reactions, helping them to feel safe, listened to and looked after. And once they're calm and feeling safe, we are asking them what they need to be well taken care of. So this is around self-care. Children need rest, they need food, they need a downtime, they need playtime, and so do you as the adult self. And then once their needs are met, we can ask your inner child what they want. The joy, the possibility, the creativity, and ask this part of you to come into your business, to come into your finances, to come into your life. This is going to infuse every area of your life with more energy, more joy, creativity, and possibility. It creates a lightness. So your happy, healthy, healed, taken care of inner child can be a great contribution to all areas of your life. So the next time you are having a challenge or pain or obstacle, or you feel like you're bashing your head against the brick wall, you've hit some invisible glass ceiling and that you can't seem to move beyond, you're getting stuck in the same patterns, the same cycles, the same problems, inner child work could be a really great place to explore. You're going to uncover a lot of things here. Please be patient with yourself. This is a process and an ongoing process. You're developing a new skill and you're developing a new relationship with an aspect of yourself. It's an incredibly powerful process, a very potent one, but it takes time to work on this relationship. So please take your time and try and enjoy the process. Thank you for joining us for today's conversation, Your Inner Child and Money Manifestation Mastery, how the two are interconnected. If you've enjoyed today's conversation and want to go even deeper into this world of wealth, I'd love to invite you to my upcoming wealth retreat. This is where we go on a powerful journey transforming your relationship with money. I teach you my secret sauce ingredients to success, how to become a money manifestation master. And we do this together live online at this free online retreat. This is for big-hearted business owners, entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders who are ready to rise into the next level of wealth, business, personal life, creating a life that truly fulfills you, a life on purpose. We'd love to see you there. And if you've been getting value from this podcast so far, I would love to ask you to please take your time to rate this podcast, leave a review, and share it with anyone who you feel would receive value from this content. I'd love to spread the word and share this very valuable work with more people. Thank you so much. I look forward to being with you again next time.